Let's go to page 277, and this is lesson 24.1. Okay, so this is on Arithmetic Series, and it starts with it gives you the problem. A child's mother give her 10 cents one day, so 10 cents, and then every day thereafter her mother give her 3 more cents than the previous day. So the next day will be 13 cents, then it will be 16 cents, 19 cents, 22 cents, 25, 28, dot, 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 dot. Okay. Now, what you have over here is, this is called a sequence. Okay, so this is, so whole bunch of number is sequence. And when you're going to add all this together, it becomes a series. So make sure you know the difference between the two. So if you add all this together, and it becomes a series. Okay. And this is called an arithmetic series because you have a common difference. So notice from here to here, the difference is plus 3. You see that? So each difference between two terms is 3. So this is the D. So D is called a common difference. And so when you have a common difference, when you have to add to get to the next term, it's called arithmetic. So okay. So these are just some of the terminologies. And so when you're going to add series, okay, that's the easy way to remember your formula. And I'm going to use different notation from this book because most of the other books, they use different terminologies. So in this book, they call it A for the first term, but most of the book, they just designate by T1. T1 means first term, and this would be T2, T3, T4, T5, and T6, and T7, and so forth. Okay, so again, this was first term, second term, third term, and so forth. Now, if you're going to add numbers, okay, the formula is very easy to remember. Okay, imagine that if you're going to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, for example. Okay. Now, instead of just adding a straight, which takes a while, okay, the easy way to remember is just pair up the first and the last number. If you notice, this will give you 11. Notice this will give you 11, right? So notice you pair it up, okay? Okay. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to T1 plus the last term, okay? The first term plus the last term, okay? And this will give you the 11. Then you have to times it by how many pairs? Well, it takes two numbers to make a pair, right? So the number of terms divided by 2, this will give you a number of pairs. So the sum will equal to that. So again, you pair up first plus the last number. So you pair up, give you the number, right? Then you have to figure out how many pairs do you have. To figure out the number of pairs, you just use the number divided by 2. Okay. Now sometimes this one you know, sometimes you don't. Okay. Now to figure out Tn or any term, so T of n will equal to T1 plus D times n minus 1. Okay. So like this one over here, like if you're going to look for, if you know T1 and you want to get a T5, so in this case T5 would be equal to T1 plus 4 times D. See that? Because from T1 to T5 there are 4 gaps, right? So T5 minus T1 give you 4 gaps. Okay, so that's what this is for. Okay, so again, they tell you how many gaps you have, okay, how many increment you have, and times the number of increment. Okay, so this will give you the total of increment, and you have to plus what you start out with. Right? This is initial value plus the increment of each one times the number of increment. So again, each difference is 3, and this will give you how many differences. Okay, so if you're looking for T5, so 5 minus 1 give you 4 differences. Okay, so that's what the formula is. Now the n, so easy way to remember is that whatever, so this is, it does not have to always have to be n and 1, okay? So whatever you have over here is whatever you have here. So let's say if you use like a t of 20 equal to t of 5, okay? Plus, in this case, whatever you have, this would be just whatever you have over here, okay? So again, if you're using t20 and t5, then to figure out number of terms or how many number of gaps, you just use 20 minus 5. And this will give you 15 gaps and times d. So be flexible with this formula. Okay, so whatever you have over here is whatever you put down. So whatever terms you're using, then that's what you're going to be using to find the gap between the two. Okay. And so again, so these are two formulas that you need to do. Okay? So whenever you deal with sum, this is your sum equation. And this will be equation for everything else. Okay, so again, you have one equation for sum and one equation for everything else. So let's go and do example. So let's go to page 278 and let's go to example 24-1. It says the problem we start out the section with can be easy solved. Okay, so the problem we did earlier, you have the 10 plus 13 plus 16 plus 19, and it goes all the way to 20 days. Okay, plus plus t20. Okay, so what is the sum of that? Okay, again, when you're looking for sum, what you do is write down the sum formula right away. So t of 20 is equal to, so there are 20 terms, so right away is 20 over 2. Okay, so again, t20, S20 means sum of 20 terms. So that means you're going to get 20 divided by 2, give you 10 pairs. And you're going to get t1, okay, plus the last term, which you don't know. Okay, so what you do is just leave it blank for now and you go over here to look for it. Okay. So t of 20 will equal to t1 plus the d, we know that d equal to 3. So plus 3 times, since you're using 20 and 1, so you use 20 minus 1, and this will give you a number of gaps. Okay? And so t20 equal to t1 is 10 plus, this one you actually, instead of making a 19, it's harder to add or subtract. You can just distribute, so you're going to get 60 minus 3. And so t20 will equal to 70 minus 3. Okay, so this would be a little bit quicker to do, 67. So you can substitute this into here, 67. So S20 equal to 10 times 77. And so this will give you S20 equal to 770. Okay. Okay, let's go to example, next, let's go to the example 24-2. Okay, so it's often complicated problems are formed from the basic idea of arithmetic series. And these are usually pretty easy to untangle. Here's one. If the sum of the first 10 terms, okay, so sum of the first 10 terms of arithmetic progression is equal to 4 times the sum of the first 5 terms. Oh, okay. So it'd be T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus T5. Okay. Find the ratio of the first term. So you're looking for ratio of the first term to the common difference. Okay. So that's what you're looking for. Okay, so what you have is you have T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus plus T10. Okay, so the sum, so S10 will equal to 10 divided by 2, right? S10 means you're adding 10 terms. So 10 terms divided by 2 will give you 5 pairs. And then each pair would be T1 plus T10, right? Okay. And then from here, and then after that, you can, you also can, okay, so you can, now if you don't know what T10 is, okay, then what you do is you can go ahead and use a formula of here. So T10 equal to T1 plus D times 10 minus 1, right? So T10 equal to T1 plus 9D. Okay. Okay, so okay, so now also you can substitute. Okay, notice when you have this, right? Because this is arithmetic, right? So T1, now T2 is actually T1 plus D. Okay, and T2, so this would be T1, T2, and T3 would be just T1 plus 2D. Okay, and then T1 plus 3D, and T4, T1 plus 4D. Okay, so that's what this is. Okay, so the sum of the first 5 terms, if you add all this together, okay, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to get 5 T1 plus, okay, how many D? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 10D. Okay, and then so this is equal to that. Okay, and do the same thing with S10. Okay, just follow that. So you're going to get 10 T1 plus, okay, so you're going to get 1D, so you're going to get 1 to, so you're going to get, okay, so you're going to get, if you write it out, so you're going to get D plus 2D plus all the way to 9, so it'll be 1 to 9, so it'll be 10, and there are 9 over 2. So it'll be 45D. Okay, so that's what this is. Okay. Again, if you write it out, T1, T2, T3. Okay, so if you add S10, that's what you're going to have. So you don't even need this one over here, and then this will be equal to 4 times that. So 10 T1 plus 45D equal to 4 times 5 T1 plus 10D. Okay, and then you can go and try to solve. So you got 10 T1 plus 45D equal to 20 T1 plus 40D. And again, remember we're solving for T1, right? So you want to get all the T1 to this side. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. So you're going to get negative 10 T1 equal to negative 5D. And then divide by, let's go and divide by negative 10. So T1 equal to D over 2. And you divide by D, so T1 over D equal to 1 over 2. Okay, and that's it. Okay. So again, when you deal with ratios, sometimes it's a little bit messy, but you got to, you have to recognize this fact and then kind of work it out. Okay. Again, if you don't see how I get these, so what you do is write out the terms. Okay. So S10 equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus T10. Okay. And because this is arithmetic sequence, right? Okay, so T2 will be equal to T1 plus D. T3 will equal to T1 plus 2D. And T4 will equal to T1 plus 3D. And so forth. So basically, you're going to have a T1 in each one. Okay? So so there'll be 10 of them, right? Because there are 10 terms. Okay, now D, you're going to have 1D all the way to 9D. Okay? So that's what I did. Okay, so I used D1, 1D plus 2D plus 3D plus plus 9D. Okay, And so 1 through 9, okay, is 10, and there are 9 numbers divided by 2. Okay, so that's 4.5 pairs. And that's how I get the 45, okay, 45D. And that's how I get the 45D over here. Again, if you write it out, okay, and again, go back to what it's giving.